York Railway Station is one of the principal gateways into the city, and over 12 million people pass through the station each year. But now it is predicted that this is going to increase to 38 million people by 2050. The plan to redevelop the station front was approved by the executive at York City Council on the 29th of November. But it isn't just the station front that is going to undergo redevelopment.
The entrance to York Railway Station, and the biggest part of the job we've got is to demolish Queen Street Bridge, which is just next to us here. That releases a lot of space in order to make the changes we want to make. Now, the station is of course owned by Network Rail, and they're heavily involved in this. What's going to happen is that the short stay car park will move from the other side of the station into what's now the long stay car park. There will be a new multi-storey car park there, so that there is room for rather more cars than park here at the moment. And that releases space. It certainly releases Tea Room Square, where there's a huge amount of congestion at the moment.
By moving where cars, taxis and buses can use, the plan is set to open up the space for pedestrians and cyclists.
Tea Room Square will be a pedestrian area. Taxis will be further outside the station. Buses will all go from the area over here where Queen Street Bridge is at the moment. There's also going to be a lot more space available, or safer routes available for cyclists, and that is going in both directions.
The project will tie in with the York Central development behind the station.
It will ease traffic congestion in future. It will separate pedestrians, cyclists, cars, taxis, buses, so that we're not getting in each other's way. One of the biggest problems we've got in York at the moment is that the railway station's on one side of town and the city centre on one side of the river, the city centre's on the other side of the river. So everybody's got to come out of here, and most people have to cross the river to get to the historic centre. And that leads me on to the other development, which is York Central, the other side of the station's huge area of railway land that's being redeveloped. There will be a new entrance to the station on the opposite side.
What does this redevelopment mean for the city?
It's extremely important for the city because of all the extra rail passengers we're expecting over the next 30 years or so. And to be honest, it's something that should have been done years ago. The money was never there. Queen Street Bridge is here because there were railway lines underneath it. Now, they were taken out about 50 years ago, so it could have been done earlier. It's just having the will to do it. It's partly that it needs to be done here, and I suppose it's partly because York Central on the other side of the railway is going ahead. It's going to be a huge redevelopment for the whole city, and something that will benefit us all.
The planning application is due to be submitted in early 2019, and if passed, then work can begin, with the hope of it being completed by late 2020. Abby Walker, That's TV.